It's Dodger Central here right about now. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Later with Mo Kelly. And I got to tell you, driving in today, it was nothing nice. Driving in on the 110 North, as you get closer to downtown, it was far worse than usual. Why? Because I was trying to drive in around 3:30, and you had the Dodger game starting at 5:08 p.m. You can imagine, if you know the 110 North, how bad it was getting closer to downtown as traffic was horrendous. And it was horrendous for a good reason, because everyone was trying to show up at the Dodger game. And I was nervous because I live and die with my Dodgers. It's one of those things where I can't get my hopes up, because unless they win a World Series, the season is a disappointment. Just winning the division as they have for some 12 years, that's not good enough. Just getting to the World Series, that's not good enough. Got to win the World Series. And they were down 2-1 a few days ago, and it looked like they were going to implode again. So tonight was so very important. It's still very important. Game's not even over yet. But I was driving in, and I was encouraged by the traffic. For once in my life, people were trying to get to Dodger Stadium. I don't know what it was like coming south on the 101 or maybe south on the 5, but it was really bad on the 110 North. And then when I finally got to the office, now you probably know this just by listening to KFI. We're on the same floor, one studio over from the Dodger Stadium. From the Dodger Station. And if you walk up and down the halls, it's very clear, okay? You know who's a Dodger fan, and you know who doesn't know anything about baseball. I am an all-timer Dodger fan. In fact, before I die, they'll probably put me in the Superfan Hall of Fame. I'm guessing. Or maybe posthumously. Me and Amy King.
Maybe they'll name a building after you.
Maybe. That's my hope, because I have a very small ego. But when you walk these halls, you know who cares and who doesn't. I care with all my heart. Stefan has no idea what a bat and a baseball are whatsoever. And he works on the same floor as the Dodger station. There's a big mural of Vin Scully at the end of the hall. I'm not so sure Stefan knows who that is, even to this day. Mark Ronner does not care. Tawala Sharp does not care. I care. Is there anyone else here on this show who cares tonight? And so I was so mad at Steph, and I said, don't even work on the show tonight. I can't have these indifferent, fake baseball fans walking around my show. I can't have your negative mojo juice getting on me. Dodgers up 2-0 going to the top of the 8th inning. I can't have that negativity around me. So Isabella, who's running the show tonight, the show is in your hands. The Dodger season is in your hands. And I ask you, I pray, I beg of you, are you a Dodger fan?
I am a Dodger fan.
How much of a Dodger fan are you?
Well, I grew up going to games. It's like in my blood at this point. It's in my DNA.
Okay, I know it's impolitic. It's impolite. It's probably rude to ask your age. But is it fair to assume that you are under the age of 30?
Yes.
Okay. Are you under the age of 25?
I am.
Mm-hmm. Are you at least over the age of 10?
Yes.
Okay. What was
With
your
confidence?
What was your first exposure to Dodger baseball?
Oh my gosh. I was barely conscious my first exposure. I was probably a little baby when my parents took me for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite Dodger?
Clayton Kershaw was my favorite for a very long time.
Not a bad pick?
Yeah. As of late, though, I mean, it's got to be Ohtani. Not to hop on the bandwagon there, but I saw him when he played for the Angels, and that was pretty incredible. So
okay, all right. Do you have an all-time memorable Dodger moment? Not even at the game, or just something that you think of. I'll give you an example. For me, it's what they call the Kirk Gibson home run, when he hit the home run off of Dennis Eckersley in Game 1 of the World Series. It was at Dodger Stadium. They were down, I think, 4-3. People were actually leaving. You could see the red lights from the back of the cars in the parking lot, because LA fans, we always leave the games early. So the Dodgers were down for most of the game. They were leaving, and then in the bottom of the ninth, Kirk Gibson hits the 2-run home run to win the game, the first game of the World Series. The Dodgers were vastly underrated. They weren't expected to win that series. So that's, for me, my favorite Dodger moment of all time. Do you have anything like that?
I'm trying to think. It's kind of all a blur right now. You're putting me on the spot here.
I know. It's not fair.
I mean, as far as memories go, For me, it was less about the game and more about my family because all my family's based in Los Angeles for the most part, but I grew up somewhere else. So it was always just nice to like meet up with family and go to games. And yeah.
You make a great point because for me, I lived in a Dodger household growing up. My family would sit and watch or listen to the games together. Because when I was growing up, you didn't get to see a lot of the Dodger games, especially if they're playing at home. Most of them were blacked out. We're talking about pre-cable. The Dodgers didn't have this TV deal that we're used to now where every game is televised. So most of the games we were just on the radio and you were listening to Vin Scully and Jerry Doggett, depending on the era in which you're listening, or Vin Scully and Rick Monday. And it was a wonderful experience because it brought our whole family together. We would just sit around and kind of staring at the radio, rooting the Dodgers on, living and dying with them every single night, every single season. And when I was growing up in 1977 and 1978, and there's a point to this, they lost to the New York Yankees both years. In 77 and 78, Reggie Jackson went crazy on us. That's how he earned the moniker Mr. October, because of those World Series. And I didn't know what it was like at that point to know what it felt like for the Dodgers to win a World Series, not until 1981. They went to the World Series, I think, in 74 against the Oakland A's. They lost that one as well. And I was just begging for a moment to feel the joy of the Dodgers winning a World Series. And then they won again in 1988. For you, and I think so 2020 was the only time the Dodgers won in your lifetime. What was that moment like for you?
Oh my gosh, that was insane. My whole family, sitting on pins and needles basically the entire time. And I will never forget when they lost to Houston.
The cheaters.
The cheaters. And then when it came out I think it was a couple months after that when it came out that the whole cheating scandal and everything, that was so devastating. And I have never felt anger like that for something that was so out of my control in my life.
It's one thing to lose. It's another thing to get cheated.
Exactly.
And do you remember the play earlier in the week where I think it was Mario Machado tried to run and hit? He was running down the baseline trying to break up a double play, so he ran out of the baseline so the ball would hit him. There was a similar play, I think it was in a 1978 World Series, where Reggie Jackson was crowding the plate, and then I think it was Bob Welch maybe who was pitching, and Reggie Jackson moved out his hip so the ball would hit him. There are a lot of strange things that have gone against the Dodgers in the past. So when I saw that play with the Padres where they're trying to run in the line out of the baseline and get hit by the ball, I said, oh, here we go again. Because there are a lot of snake bit moments in Dodger history. They're not cursed, but they've had a lot of, I would say, they've had a lot of bad luck. Let me just say that. Bad luck.
Yes, they have.
So my fingers are very crossed for tonight, but I'm nervous. I'm scared. I'm out of my mind. I don't know what to do. I can't calm down because I need the Dodgers to win, or this show tonight is going to go straight to hell. Straight to hell. If the Dodgers lose, I'm telling you right now, Tawala's finishing the show. And you don't want that because he's not a baseball fan. He won't know how to deal with all this. I can't deal with it. Mark Runner doesn't care. Stephen doesn't care. But I care. It's the World Series or bust, and they have to win tonight. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Wait a minute. What the hell? Wait a minute. Last segment, I was talking to Isabella, dyed-in-the-wool Dodger fan who was running the show, and now Stefan is running the board. How in the world are we supposed to maintain some semblance of order in this place if we're switching technical directors every segment? The Dodgers are playing right now. They need as much positive momentum and support as possible. And you are sending Stefan, great Dodger fans, home? What is wrong with you, dude?
She had to go home. She was.
What do you mean she had to go? What do you mean she didn't have to go?
She did.
She's standing out in the hall watching the game. I can see her from here. She's watching the game.
Oh, then she lied to me.
No. Okay, well, she's watching the game. Do you actually think a real Dodger fan is going to leave here where we got 35,000 TVs so they can get in the car and listen to the end of the division series elimination game?
She got me, I think.
What? You thought Nautica left?
No. We're talking about Isabella, who was running the board before.
She didn't go anywhere either.
That's what I'm saying. No. Nautica, who's a Yankees fan, is watching the game out in the hall, and Isabella, who's watching the game as a Dodgers fan, is out in the hall.
Yeah.
Everyone is here.
Everybody's here, but why are you on the board now?
Because it was my time to take over, unfortunately.
You do understand that you're messing with the future of the Dodgers, right? You do know that you're messing with the Dodger season. The Dodger season's on the line, and if you, as a non-fan, are in that booth, you are expanding the likelihood of bad things happening.
Foosh, you're fine. Don't listen to
See, you're not even a baseball fan. You don't count.
You're right. I'm not. So I'm not jinxing this at all.
I still support the Dodgers.
How can you support the Dodgers if you don't even know the Dodgers?
Well, I mean, go Dodgers.
Oh
I know Reggie Jackson.
Oh my gosh. We're doomed.
Sean Green.
Pete Rose? Wait.
Pete is dead. Reggie
But
is
Pete
a Yankee.
Just died. Sean Green?
Sean Green, former Dodger. Yes.
Okay. Got one.
Dude. The guy. He got kicked off a little while ago.
Who's cackling?
That was Kiki.
Who do you mean got kicked off?
There's a guy that got kicked off a little while ago.
You know, that one guy.
Kicked off?
You
talking about Trevor Bauer?
No, I think he's back on, right?
No, that's the guy who was doing the thing and got accused of doing the thing with the girlfriend. And and people got mad at us for talking about it.
Yeah. No, there's another guy.
No, there's another guy.
That was responsible for a thing, and he got kicked off.
Yeah.
Who got kicked off?
What?
You talking about Shohei's interpreter?
No.
It was a player for sure.
He would know. Shohei's interpreter wasn't playing. He was just betting big on
Shohei.
Shohei's dying. Who are we talking about?
I'm going to look it up.
Why are you looking it up? I have to do the 7-Eleven story because I teased it. LA 7-Eleven owners are getting together and donating $1 million to support Prop 36. Of course, we've been talking about 7-Eleven, how they had this rash of robberies at many Southern California 7-Eleven locations. So these owners are saying, like, we need to do something. We have to somehow pool our resources and make sure that our interests are taken care of. And Prop 36, from where they sit, is a way in which they can do that. Let me just quickly refresh for those who don't know. Proposition 36 allows felony charges for possessing certain drugs and for thefts under $950 if the defendant has 2 prior drug or theft convictions. So it's a caveat. A yes vote for Prop 36 would mean people convicted of certain drug or theft crimes could receive increased punishment, like longer prison sentences. But in certain cases, people who possess illegal drugs would be required to complete treatment or serve up to 3 years in prison. We briefly touched upon this in my conversation earlier this week with the Orange County DA, Todd Spitzer. And if you vote no, it just means stuff stays the same. It's the status quo. And I think we all can agree, regardless of the specific legislation, the status quo is unacceptable. What is happening right now can't keep happening. We can't just sit idly by while young people are running into 7-Eleven and ransacking the place multiple times a week, multiple cities in LA County, and now they moved into Orange County. We can't sit idly by and allow it to happen without doing something. We need to control that which we can control. So LA 7-Eleven owners, they said, we've had enough. We're going to do our part to make sure Prop 36 passes. Now, from what I've read, from what I've seen, polling, and the people I've talked to on the inside, they believe that Prop 36 is going to pass. Who knows? But it looks very good at this point that it will pass, and some of this will change. Now, how much of a deterrent it will be going forward, assuming it passes, I don't know. But stiffer penalties and possibly a different DA could be the difference. All right, now who are you talking about, Tweller?
I'm talking about former Dodger pitcher Julio Urias.
There you go.
Urias.
Urias, no?
No, it's Urias.
Look, he deserves, for what he was caught doing on camera, he deserves no respect on his name.
Well, that's fine. That is true. Yeah,
okay,
he was caught beating up his girl in the parking lot.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I know him.
Me and
He's
Tuwala
in the
know him,
news.
See?
Yeah, we had talked about it. We talked about it briefly. I'd forgotten about him. There was so much swirling around the Dodgers this year.
We're not ignorant of the Dodgers lineup.
Wait. Just because you know of a Dodger who got kicked off the team doesn't mean that you know baseball or you're a fan of the team. It's not the same.
Look, only Shohei Ohtani got the 50-50. No one else.
Oh, yeah, you got the 50-50.
That's a world record. If you don't know
world record?
If you don't know that, you don't bleed blue.
It's a baseball record to get 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in the same season.
There's no other baseball team in the world that's done that.
But he's the first one to do it, right?
Yeah.
He's the first one to do it in Major League Baseball. I don't know if it's been done in like the Japan leagues or not. I don't think so.
Because we would have heard about it and it wouldn't have been a big deal.
Me and Tuala would have talked about it.
Right.
Y'all would never talk about baseball.
We would
if your lives
absolutely have
depend
been on that.
Who are you trying to fool?
We know all about it.
All right. Name 2 players who play for the LA Angels. Name 2.
No one cares about the Angels. This station bleeds blue.
Okay. Name 2 Dodger pitchers.
Julio, you're right.
No, he's not on the team. You can't name
One.
him.
Oh, wait. Current.
Wait. And Isabella named one who was her favorite player.
Oh.
That's the same one.
Mm-hmm.
You know his name.
I do know his name. Name 2 Dodger pitchers. And by the way, it's still 2-0 Dodgers going to the top of the ninth.
See, because we're putting out good vibes.
Yes.
No, don't say that.
We are all
You
about
just jinxed
Los
us.
Doyers.
Los Doyers. Okay, name 2 Dodger pitchers. That's why you're Googling. It's like name that movie called
Yeah,
Class
right?
A. Now he's just trying to cheat.
No.
Just
no.
killing.
The thing that you gotta understand is back when I used to play for Carl Sporting Good, I was kicked off the team and their colors were the similar colors of the Dodgers. So I'm too scarred to look this up right now.
That's the story that you're going with. Okay,
scarred.
so Stephen, can you name 2 Dodger pitchers? 2. One you should remember from starting the game tonight, since you're a Dodger fan.
Well,
Pitched the first 5 innings.
Okay. Well, one of them is Julio.
No, he's not with the team.
I know,
Can't use
but
him. Mark Ronner, can you help these non-Dodger fans out?
Not a chance.
Brower. Matthew Brower.
Matthew Brower. You mean Trevor Bauer, the one who got kicked off the team and had the legal issues that we can't talk about?
Okay, this is just getting sad.
Who's
Even to me, it's sad.
Who's the no?
You can't remember Clayton Kershaw?
Oh, yeah, Clayton Kershaw.
Okay, there's one.
Yama.
Say it.
Yamamoto?
Yeah, was Kiana in there helping you?
No.
I hear her cackling in the background.
She went to go get the ribs.
Yeah.
She's not here.
Oh, y'all eating ribs tonight?
I don't know.
Well, we are.
Isn't
I'm
it
not-
isn't it go blue for ribs?
No, that's not how it works.
Oh. Look, there's the other one. He just got robbed. I'm blanking because he just got robbed.
Yes, he did.
Oh, yeah.
We literally just talked because
Yes, we did.
He's a victim.
This is horrible. Tim Conway Jr. is in his car listening right now. Upset.
Brewster.
No, Bueller.
Bueller.
Walker Bueller.
Yes.
There you go.
And
See?
you know what? And he's
Look
having
at
a
the
much,
time.
He's having
I'll
a
say
much
it.
better game.
I'll say it. Look at the time. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and the Dodgers have just clinched the division series against the hated San Diego Padres. And joining me in studio right now is Brian Blackmore, who's the assistant program director for our partner station, AM 570 LA Sports, the Dodger station. Brian, I was talking about this at the beginning of the show, how I walked in and you knew who was a Dodger fan in the building and who wasn't a Dodger fan. But even though we may be Dodger fans and you work for the station as the assistant program director, I want you to explain just how nervous all of us were as fans. I mean, we've seen this every single year at the Dodgers.
I was at the game. I was in the suite and I had to come back here because of, operation stuff, whatever. I was kind of hyperventilating when Teoscar hit it out. I'm an idiot for saying, I kind of threw up in the back of the suite.
What?
I swear to you. I was hyperventilating. Everyone was going crazy, right?
And that made the game 2-0.
Correct. And I literally and I had taken a drink of my water and I had a little bit of, and I literally kind of threw up.
Explain for us, why is this so stressful for Dodger fans? You work for the station, so you have to balance your job responsibilities with your personal fandom.
I mean, but it's like you though too. Like I'm born and raised. Like growing up here, like there's certain teams who you root for, and since I was a kid, I was a Dodger fan.
I think our lives run a similar track, and excuse me for saying this, but I'm going to say this. Your father, my father,
I was going to say this.
Almost the exact same age, to be full disclosure, almost born on the exact same day, almost died on the exact same day, and we are Dodger fans through and through. What is it you think your father would say about this Dodger team?
You're gonna make me cry.
Look, you and me both. We've talked about this off the air. So I mean,
I can't even.
I get it, because when I watch the Dodgers, it reminds me how close we were.
No question. I mean, if he was still here, I mean, I would have been at the game. But if I wasn't at the game, I'd be sitting in Monterey Park in the den with my dad on the couch. You know what I mean? Like that's what it was.
Beginning of the show, I was talking about how my family, and since we're relatively same age, growing up, before you had Spectrum and you could see every single Dodger game, our family made it a habit to sit around and watch the radio. Listening to Vin Scully, and I was saying then Jerry Doggett or Rick Monday, Reggie Smith, whoever might have been in the booth with him.
Yeah.
What was it like for you growing up?
Oh, it was the same. I mean, it's part of the reason why I got into radio was because of the love of all of that and the immediacy of it all. And being a huge sports fan, that was all part of it. But this is my hometown team. It's my childhood.
Yes.
As they say, it's cliche, right? But like, the whole bleed blue thing, like it's, and then the other part of it, let's be honest, is I don't know if there's anybody in baseball who I despise more than the Padres. Well, I mean,
it used to be the Giants. And for us growing up, it was the Yankees, because those two World Series in the late 1970s were painful.
It's coming again.
It's coming. Oh,
how great would that be?
Oh, it'll be great. You got the Mets now and the Dodgers, and I think that starts Sunday.
Correct. Game 1 is Sunday.
And then the Yankees are facing off against either Cleveland or...
tomorrow is a game 5. So tomorrow is Cleveland, Detroit. Winner of that advances for the Yankees.
It's a good time to be a baseball fan. It's a great time to be a Dodger fan. And it's a great time to be working here at KFI, because then I can go down to AM 570 LA Sports and get all the inside.
Anytime. And my cousin loves you, by the way.
That's so nice.
You know that.
But still, it's nice of you to say that, even though it's not true. Yeah.
No, she does. My cousin Sandy loves you.
I gotta say, Don Martin, who's the program director, and also the husband of our program director, I know he was down there tonight.
Yeah, I just left him. Yeah,
how was he calm?
Come on, Mo.
Okay, that's a no.
Come on. You know what? He was better. He was, but the whole place is just nuts. It's A, we're all fans. B, I'll be honest, there's a lot riding on it for us, for our station and for the cluster. So business wide. But we're just fans, and of course, I think if it was, somebody was saying how like, they were almost okay with, well, as long as we beat the Padres, anything else is just gravy. It's like this was almost more important than just because of the hatred.
Yeah,
and I was
real hatred. Yeah,
and it's so brand new, just because some of their guys are just so cocky and arrogant.
I say a-holes and D-bags, but okay, cocky and arrogant.
God bless you, Mo. That's why I love you so much.
You can't say that, but I can say that.
I can say I'm literally sitting here don't swear, dummy, don't swear, because
But I think that type of rivalry is good for baseball. It's reminiscent of baseball, what it used to be in the 1970s and early 80s. I don't like it when everyone is friends and buddy with one another. Yeah. I know that some of the Padres played for the Dodgers, but you can't be friends right about now.
Not right now. Maybe
December. When the season's over, but not right now. Brian Blackmore, I appreciate you coming in. Congratulations for at least this portion. Go Dodgers.
Absolutely.
And so I'm going to ask you on air. So when is it that you or Don Martin going to make sure that I have access to the suite?
I will get you in any time, Mo. Unfortunately, I don't have the final say, so you're kind of screwed.
Look, if I were Matt Money Smith, I'd do a Don Martin impression, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Cates has the best one.
Cates has the best. Tim Cates.
Cates is hotline like our board ops before, and it has them going for like 30 seconds. They just can't.
Does Don ever get mad about that?
To Don's credit, I think when Don got here like 17 years, it was kind of his idea. So to Don's credit, like he's phenomenal with it. There's never once been an issue.
Well,
and we all clown him, but some do it better than others.
Yeah, I'm not going to try because I pale in comparison, but I'm working on it. You're a
good man, Mo.
Brian Blackmore, always good to see you, my friend, my brother.
Thanks
Go
for
Dodgers. And anytime. I see you just about every day, but we don't get to talk about baseball enough.
Yeah, no, I hate coming on, so I'm not.
But you did for me, so I
just for you because my cousin loves you.
Well, and I love you too,
and I love you as well. Mo.
You know what? I think somewhere our pops are watching us right now.
Now you make me cry.
Yeah, look, I'll be crying with you as we go to break. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
But as I was having that conversation with Brian Blackmore and talking to the other folks in the studio, thinking about my time as a kid, loving the Dodgers and, just the world, what it felt like, what it looked like back then. I'm reminded of when I was in grade school. And if you're around my age, I'm 54, so use that as a marker. I remember going to school and we would have not earthquake drills. We would have nuclear war drills. And in the nuclear war drills, we were told to get under our desks and put our hands over our head to protect our head in the event that there was a nuclear strike on Los Angeles. And you get a little older and you think, that little wooden desk is not going to protect much of anything if an actual nuclear warhead were to detonate within 30, 40 miles. But then I got older and realized when they started having the earthquake drills, the nuclear war drills and the earthquake drills were pretty much the damn same. We're doing the same thing. We're told to just get under the desk, protect your head. And if you didn't know, the Great California Shakeout of 2024 is scheduled for 10:17 a.m. on October 17th. And if you didn't figure it out, that's 10:17. So it's 10:17 on 10:17. You're having the luxury of preparing for a supposed earthquake, which is going to be at 10:17 on 10:17. And we all know that in a real situation, at best, you'll have a few seconds notification. I got the last emergency alert simultaneous to the earthquake starting. I talked to some friends. They got it maybe 4 or 5 seconds in advance, but not a lot of time. But since we've had so many earthquakes in the past 365 days, and they have been not large earthquakes, but at least sizable enough to get our attention, put it that way, I think it has encouraged all of us to be more aware and more conscious of any earthquake supplies that we should have, do have. Like in our house, we have a backup generator, which is ready to go, assuming we're at home. We have a plan as far as best we can in the event that there's a large earthquake or a major earthquake as far as how we plan to communicate. Like, for example, hey, if we can't get through on phone, try to send a text message that requires less bandwidth to say where you are. And if that doesn't work, if you can possibly get on the internet and leave a Facebook status, here's where I am, or something like that. We've already talked about this and worked out different ways in which we plan to communicate, because I don't know in a given instance where we're all going to be. I mean, I could be at work. My wife's at work. There's a good 40 miles in between. We're not going to be able to get to each other within hours if it were a major disastrous situation. But the Great Shakeout is coming on. The Great California Shakeout is coming up on October 17th at 10:17 a.m. And if you didn't know, last year's event, about 10.2 million people statewide registered to take part. And this goes back to 2008 when it first started. According to shakeout.org, The objective is to emphasize precautions during a 7.8 magnitude or larger quake along the southernmost portion of the San Andreas Fault. Officials believe that such a tectonic shift could produce waves of movement for hundreds of miles over 4 minutes. 4 minutes. I remember the last earthquake we talked about was about maybe 25 seconds long. Can you imagine? Can you even conceive of an earthquake for 4 minutes?
Just waves.
4 minutes. Put that into perspective. Turn on the radio. Well, you already listened to the radio, but turn on a music radio sometime in the future and listen to a song from beginning to end. That's about 4 minutes. Your favorite song. It's about 4 minutes. And imagine during that 4 minute interval, nothing but shake, rattle, and roll. Real terrifying earthquake for 4 minutes non-stop. I've lived here my whole life. I can't imagine that. I've been in some sizable earthquakes. I remember Northridge, and that was long. That felt like 45 seconds. I have to go back and look and see how long it actually was. But nothing approaching 4 minutes, saying nothing of the aftershocks of what would be a 7.8. When you get a 7.8, the aftershocks are usually like 6.9, 6.4, 6.1. They are sizable and scary in their own right. And according to what other data I've seen, there would be hundreds of aftershocks, and a few of them nearly as big as the original quake. So if you get a 7.8, there's a good chance there's a 7.5 coming right after that.
So listening to this, is the Great California Shakeout similar to the oxygen mask coming down in a plane when it's going down?
I don't know. The oxygen mask, in theory, could come down. It doesn't mean that the plane's going down.
But I'm just saying, like a 7.8.
No, a 7.8. Like there's a good chance that the building's coming down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like this building is done.
Well, that goes back to me in grade school. It's like we can prepare for certain things, and I'm not trying to dismiss the California Great Shakeout. I think in an abstract way, it gets us thinking about, like I said, communications, plans. It doesn't have to be a 7.8. It could be a 6.5. Yeah. You could have considerable damage or, somewhat damage depending on where you are in proximity to the epicenter. But you should still have plans in place. That's the way I look at it. If it's bad where you are, like I was using my wife as an example, we could be 40 miles apart. She could be right at the epicenter, or I could be at the epicenter, and they're 40 miles away, and it may not be as destructive, but you still have to have that plan in advance. I have the first aid kit in the car. I have water in the car. I have basic supplies in the car. But I don't know in a major earthquake whether I will even be able to get to my car. I don't even know if I could get to my car because my car is in a parking structure. And I don't know in a major earthquake whether I want to go in a parking structure. Let's be honest.
Well, and look, I'm all about earthquake preparedness, and I'm so glad that you chose to bring this story to the airwaves today. This thrills me to no end that you are encouraging earthquake preparation and promoting the Great California Shakeout. But I've actually taken great stock of everything that is in the emergency kits here in the building, because I often think to myself, if we're not able to get down to, our cars to get out of here, I know what's in those things. I don't know why I make it a habit just to look in there and see that those things are up to date, but I know where all of the ones here are on this floor and even the 5th floor above us. So I'm like, we may need to rely on these things. We need to know what's in them and how we can use them to help us in the case of an emergency.
Well, we won't be able to survive on that nasty ass food in the kitchen.
And some of that stuff has been in there forever, though. So it may be
forever.
It may be that spam like stuff. I don't know.
It is forever. There are times. Well, there's the food that people bring from home and they never clean out the refrigerator. And there's the actual vending machine food, which is not actually food. I don't know why people eat some of that stuff. In fact, to the vending company, why do they keep putting that stuff in there? No one's buying that.
I bought one of those bowls the other day because I was starving. That broccoli bean mishmash bowl.
And it was a last resort, not your first choice. Who's buying that stuff? Not even Mark Ronner would eat that stuff.
Won't go near it. Not even in
You
an
know
emergency.
what I'm talking about. I was saying, who is actually thinking that is a good thing to put in that freezer section, thinking that someone's going to buy it?
I thought only brand new people tried it out and then never after they'd been here a couple of weeks.
No, I think you're right. You try some of that stuff once to know to never eat it again. Never. But, if you're worried about dying and we're like in a coal mine or something and that's all we have to eat, then I guess we're going to have to eat it.
Yeah, if it's that or cannibalism, I need a minute to make up my mind.
Right. This is not going to be the Donner Party, okay?
There's Twinkies there.
I saw that, and I don't eat Twinkies. I refuse. After Die Hard, I never had another Twinkie. True story. True story.
Why?
Have you seen the movie?
Not for years.
Okay, well, there's a plot point in Die Hard.
Now
with
I
the
got to
Twinkie.
watch it this weekend.
No, seriously, there's a plot point.
To rewatch it, yeah.
Where John McClane eats a really old Twinkie, and he spits it out, and Reggie Johnson, I can't remember his character's name, Sergeant Al Powell, and he rattles off all the ingredients of it, and it's nasty when he says it out loud as far as what's a Twinkie's made of.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember.
Yellow dye number 5 and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that's actually been made illegal now in California.
Oh, yeah. There's all sorts of apocryphal stories about, say, soldiers' bodies not decomposing.
Right.
Because they had Twinkies so often in their diet.
So, no, I don't eat Twinkies. I did see that in there. There's no food in there. The point is, in an earthquake, I don't know how we got here. In an earthquake, there are so many unknown variables. There's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can prepare for. But my recommendation is do what you can with what you have right where you are. And so at least you're somewhat prepared for something in the event that something does happen. There you go.
Keep some jerky in your pants at all times.
That sounds weird.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
You just had to make it weird.
Oh, look at the time.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
Remember when you used to have a radio to listen to KFI?
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live